And now, introducing our next guest, the number one player in the class of 2023, Max Clark.
If it's not the end, I what we into. No, we not your friend, I made that club you can't get into. I just keep on getting, I gotta get out of my mental. Oh yeah, you right, I don't call your dumb and cancel. Used to put my money and I put it in on friends zone. Kept it think I with my dick, tryna get up in that end zone. Yeah, I'm in this biz, I'm on these benzos. So they wouldn't fold, but I gotta ask them about the benzo.
There we go.
There
Now
we
we're
go.
talking. What up? What up?
Not much. How are you?
Hanging in there, brother.
That's good. Good to hear. Yeah, we were.
I'm also Max, by the way.
Oh, what's up, Max?
That's my guy. It's like I grew up with this kid, like, and I started like doing it myself, and I was like, all right, like this is boring, and so I was like, all right, you're doing it with me, and he was like, I'm doing it for my college resume, and then we started getting like you and Drew, like we got you, and we got Drew, and we got a lot of other guests on, and he's like liking it now. He's like, all right, I might as well stick with it.
Yeah, I love podcasting. I think so.
Yeah, I saw that. I listened to the MLB Pipeline one you just did.
Yeah, that one was Jonathan and I. Like, cool.
Yeah, that whole I listen to a lot of like the MLB Pipeline stuff. Like the stuff that they do is like I like it because it's easier to get minor league guys on and like draft prospects. Major league guys say the DMs like that.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like, I mean, yeah. So a lot of you guys probably know who our guest is today. So I try to get. I mean, we did get in touch with each other in the summer. We tried to get that to happen, but such a busy schedule. Mainly for you. I was gonna say for me too, but no, mainly for you. I think we got in touch like right before you went out to LA, and then you had area code, and like that whole month was just packed.
Yeah, and then top of that, like it seemed like July, August, and September was just swamped. June was okay, but the last 3 months were just fun, really fun, but just absolutely swamped.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have let me see. I have the text. It's far back, but I can pull the text. So I think it was like it was first of all, it was 1 a.m, and you hit me back, and you were like, haven't been home in 35 days. But on a plane to LA, I was like, God damn. I looked at the text and I was like, yeah, people are gonna be like, I'm gonna post like my editing and my story at 1 a.m. and like be like, damn, you're working. Meanwhile, I get that text, I'm like, all right, never mind, I'm not posting anything.
Yeah, it literally felt like I was living out of a suitcase the entire summer. I mean, hotel to hotel, plane to plane. Like, I'm surprised I didn't lose any luggage, honestly. Like, I was lucky. My entire little package luggage here all the way. Because, like, you're collecting gear that entire time. So, like, when I was heading home from Tampa, I had to ship, like, 8 bags home or something crazy like that. Like, 7 or 8. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy. I can't imagine doing that for a summer.
It's dope, though, because it's like an entirely new wardrobe, so.
I mean, yeah, I'll take it then. Consider. Might have to do a travel tour this summer. Hit up some events.
Oh, yeah.
So that, I mean, honestly, that goes right into our first question. I mean, yeah, I would do it. Normally I'd do like a big intro, but everyone knows who you are watching this. Like everyone who watched this probably comes from your story too. So, so without further ado, I'll start with kind of a mix of a fan question into one of our questions that we were going to use. How do you balance football and baseball and the schedule between that?
That's actually a really good question. But yeah, like growing up, Bantam had always like taken after summer ball just because you didn't play as much when you were younger. Like you played a lot, but you started in March because you didn't have high school ball. So you'd be done by, like mid-July at the latest. So it was really easy through like Bantam middle school. But then once we get to high school, it was nice. My high school coach was really, really good with being flexible. And whenever I was home, I'd be at practices. But a lot of the stuff in the summer is just conditioning work. No, we don't have any pads on, like any of that stuff. The IHSA, our sports federation, kind of has like super strict rules on whatever we do throughout the summer. So a lot of that stuff's just the basics. So especially in my junior and senior year where I already had the playbook memorized. I mean, growing up, I played quarterback, so I had our high school playbook memorized anyways. But when I switched over because of baseball, I already had it memorized too, so it made it a lot easier. But I mean, it's hard. It is. It's more of a toll on your body though, versus the actual like physical fatigue or like I wouldn't say it's really hard. Like there's not a lot of overlapping conflicts. The only really toll is just like on your body. So I'd be, this season I played the first 2 games of football, and then I flew out for a month and did Team USA. So like I was in football mode with my body. I mean, I was a little heavier, I was stronger, all this stuff. And I went to baseball, and I was like, oh, I feel a little stiff. I had to get the mobility back that I usually have during baseball season. And then that was fine. Like that was an easy fix. But then you come back from playing a month of baseball straight and trying going straight into football. It's a little different because you go from, in baseball, it's a lot of straight line cuts. Yeah, you may flip your hips open on a fly ball or something shallow you're running in on, but it's all like a straight line or at an angle. But then in football, you're making cuts, you're breaking down, you're switching speeds, all this stuff. So it was a little bit of like uncomfortable. It was a little bit uncomfortable there for a while for in terms of my body, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. But yeah, I mean, I would always preach like play as many sports as you can, and especially like I said, if you have a good coach who's going to be able to work with you and help figure out what's best for the football team and the baseball team and what's best for your schedule, then obviously take advantage of that because there's nothing better than FNL. And for coming from experience, like it's amazing, especially in Indiana. Football in Indiana is great. So it wasn't too bad this year, but it's also it's not for the weak, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you're just like this generation's Bo Jackson.
That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. I've gotten a few comments about that. I don't know if I'm as talented as him, but I mean, hey, I'll take the compliment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. In your opinion, since you play at such a high level for both sports, which do you think is harder? You said you play quarterback, so what do you think is harder, playing quarterback for football or just baseball in general?
I think. Oh man, that's a tough question. I think from like a physical and a body standpoint, I think football is tremendously harder. I mean, you have to be a top tier athlete. You have to run a certain speed, you play certain positions and all that stuff. And I mean, you still have to be a really, really good athlete to play certain positions in baseball. And you still have to be a really, really good athlete. And you have to move well in order to keep your body safe in baseball. So they both have all of their positives, but I think the skill of baseball is harder. Because like I said, I mean, I switched positions as a sophomore and was our team's leading receiver both years I've played. And it was my first 2 years ever playing receiver. So it's like if you're a gifted athlete, it's a little easier to get away with the skill of football, but you can't put somebody who's never played baseball before, you can't put them in a baseball game and expect them to ever get a hit. Hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports. That's not debatable. I don't care what anyone says. It is not debatable. So from a body strength and like athletic standpoint, I think football is a little more forceful, a little more hard. Like, it's just a tough question. Baseball, the skill of baseball is definitely harder. The toll of physicality in baseball or football is harder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I like that you brought up the hitting a baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports because, I mean, my friends who don't play baseball will they'll argue that as if they know it. And
yeah, and it's just like you guys have no idea what you're getting yourselves into.
Yeah. Hitting I mean, I guess for our age, I at our age, I guess you could say maybe there might be something harder at a high school level, but like getting to that major league level, like if you're sitting into a box with an 100-mile-an-hour fastball, you're not.
Yeah, and if you're just like a nobody who's never played or like just a different athlete, like you have zero chance.
I mean, I played last year and I sat like this kid pitched 93 or so he touched 93 against us or something like that. And in the box, like I stood there. I don't think my bat really moved off my shoulder. I'm not that good. I was like, all right, like
good Lord.
Yeah, something like that. Like
no, I agree. I 100% agree.
Yeah, it's something I'm never gonna be able to like ever master. Maybe
Oh
I'll
yeah.
do it once or twice. It's not something anybody can master unless you put hours into that.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's a good question. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Max, is there like a specific reason why you chose baseball over football, or just because you're just better at baseball?
I always had a interest in baseball growing up. Like, I mean, I started playing when I was 3. And I didn't start football till I was 6. So like, I was already a little bit ahead with baseball. But I love the sport a little bit more. I don't get me wrong, I absolutely love football, but baseball just kind of takes that next step, and I'm definitely obsessed with it. I'm obsessed with my craft way more in baseball than I am with football. I just kind of let like the natural athleticism like take the wheel in football, I guess is what I could say. Um, but like I grew up watching my brother play baseball and football, so it's like and basketball. I played basketball for a while up until last year. So like I just kind of did whatever he did, honestly. And it seemed like he loved baseball more, so I started taking a little more interest into it when I was younger, just because he was always doing it, so I wanted to do it. And then I started getting like really, really advanced for whatever age I was at the time, and slowly started loving it more and more and more. And now it's just like I'm obsessed with everything about it.
hmm I mean, if you do go to Vandy, would you consider playing both?
Oh, 100%. I think it'd be dope. I think it'd be really good for the brand too.
Would they let you play both?
I don't know. I don't know. I think the football team would. I mean, I've had conversations with them, so um, I don't think it's out of the question at all. Like, I don't think that's unrealistic. Um, I don't think I don't know. It'd be really hard to manage playing for as an elite of a program as Vanderbilt baseball is. I think it'd be really hard to balance your time, just because that's almost like a full year thing for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that would be sick if you play.
Oh yeah, no, that'd be dope. Like I'd 100% try if the option, like if that does become an option, that like whatever I decide down the road, like
First
that'd
round
be
pick.
kind of sweet. Yeah, that'd be kind of sweet. I mean, I don't know, next Kyler Murray or something, that'd be dope.
Yeah, because if you do end up in college, you could go 3 years. You could get you'd be eligible
Yeah, both sports. Yeah,
both sports same
Yeah.
year. Get drafted in the first round, same year.
yeah, like that'd be crazy. That'd be nuts.
Think about the endless possibilities there.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it's just like that's just branding central right there.
Yeah, and and dude, you're transitioning into my questions before I can do it. Branding. I mean, 200,000 followers on Instagram. You have a platform. I'm not even on TikTok, so I can't even see. All right, let's see the TikTok. It has like close to that 160,000. I mean, brand deals up the wazoo. Custom bats, custom gloves, custom cleats. How are you doing this? What's going on like behind the scenes? Tell us some stuff and like how these things come to fruition.
Yeah, so I mean, growing up, I was always like super obsessed with like networking. I love talking to people, even if I didn't know them. Like as a young kid, this is way before branding was even like a thing. So I always had that networking like itch in me growing up. So as I got older and older, I just started reaching out to people, and then like the account slowly started growing, and then my content got a lot better. I mean, I have everything that I do on there basically, and that's another branch of it. Is I have 3 different platforms for 3 different age groups, 3 different types of content. So, I mean, you have Twitter for like the coaches, and it's usually towards the older generation. And then you have Instagram, who's more like our age, young adults, a couple younger guys. But TikTok is where I get like the young group of kids, just because it's so booming in that era. Um, so I've kind of like managed to play the game and just kind of feed that all back into one big brand. So I've always been obsessed with it. I mean, I've had conversations with some of the most powerful people in the world, and in the business world is what I mean. And like, it's super cool just to like pick someone's brain who's been, a multi-billionaire with something in no relation to baseball, but it's just like how they made their money, how their mindset grows day in and day out. And all of those things are super cool. So I've always been obsessed with it. I think it's just a really, really good way to reach out, be transparent, be like a role model. Like a lot of people say I'm a role model on social media. Like I love that because I want to reach out and help the kids around me that, have questions. I mean, I always take the time to respond or like a comment, or if somebody asks me a question, like I always get back to them. And I take a little bit of pride in that just because I enjoy helping other people. So it's like all of that brand's ideal is also a good platform for other kids. So It's been great. I love it. I'm not too like, indulged in it, I guess. Like I don't really buy into it, but it's just really, really cool to have.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's great. And like I'm sure Aiden and a little bit of me could test on what you just said about the networking and connecting because I mean this is how we got you on and all these all these guests. So networking is huge and also with like the access that kids have to you. I know you're that's great how you always take your time to respond to kids because a lot of these like guys, especially with 200,000 followers, get flooded their DMs and
Yeah.
some of these kids they never get back to them, which I mean I understand. You probably get a lot of DMs.
Oh,
yeah.
100%.
So like jumping right into that, so like we did get a lot of fan questions, obviously, on our story, and a good friend John of ours asked, "How was it like playing for Team USA?" And if you could give us some of like your experiences or some cool stories that you had along the way with that.
Yeah, so for me, Team USA was like my one thing that I had yet to check off my bucket list in terms of travel baseball. So 15U year, I got cut. Absolutely heartbreaking for me. It was like the first time that I was on a national stage, and I went out and played really, really well. But I just ended up not making the team. This was before any of the hype or like the rankings and stuff that came out. So this was a while back, but it was heartbreaking. And then 17 or like last year, I was selected to go and play up with the like Drew Jones's team. So I was going out there. I was ready. I got invited back to trials, and then I got COVID. Couldn't go. So another heartbreaker because I felt like I had a good chance. And then this year comes around. It's like you finally make the team, and just sitting in that room as they read off the 20-man roster is just, first of all, ridiculously nerve wracking. Like everybody's sitting there with like their hands in their head and like just doing this like the whole time. And then you hear your name and you just like don't move. Like I literally just like sat there like this for like another 15 minutes as he like kept giving a speech. And then they let us out into the parking lot and they did like the exit meetings with other guys. And we were going just insanely crazy. Like all of us were so happy. And I mean, it was just like we had our first like Team USA like breakdown on 3. And it was like the coolest, most, bucket list check mark like position to be in ever. It was insane. And then you finally get going in the games, and it's like that first time you hear the national anthem on your home soil when you're playing against another country. It's just goosebumps, man. It's unreal. Um, incredibly, incredibly blessed for that opportunity because I mean I would go back and do that again in an instant.
Mhm.
And then like the time comes around and it's like it's finally medal round and super round and like we're playing Japan and we're losing and it just feels like everything's falling apart. But then you get that one hit and then a bunt and then it turns into a walk off and it's like you're on top of the world, literally. And then you go and you play Chinese Taipei and it's like they kind of whooped us the first time we played them and I mean they beat us pretty handily. And it's just like everybody was clicking on all cylinders. I mean, the arms were great. We were throwing guys out, making good plays. Everybody was hot at the plate. And then that last pitch, Bryce Elder throws a slider. They call strike 3, and we're all sprinting in, dog piling, gold medals on your neck. They're playing the national anthem as you're just standing in front of all these countries. It's just like everything that I wanted that summer came full circle to me. And it was literally the coolest experience and the most like goosebump ensuing, tears, joy, all of it, all into one event. And it was just amazing, especially for the United States. Like it was so cool to represent your country on top of that. Like I love that. And it was just so, so, so cool.
Yeah, and I mean, it looked sick. The pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Everything.
No, the pictures were great. The pictures were awesome.
Yeah, I mean that's all I saw about it. I saw also Ethan Holiday. He
Oh, yeah.
15U team, and we had him on probably now 2 months ago. I don't even remember when, but like he was talking about his experience with it. Similar words, like best time of my life. Like that's what how he could describe it.
And it's like we were talking to Doug Makovich, who was on the staff, and he won 2 World Series with the Red Sox. And he was like, and he won a couple of gold medals too. And he was saying the feeling of winning that gold medal was even stronger than winning a World Series. And it was just like it put it in perspective on how important that was. And then you finally do it, and you're like, oh, he wasn't joking, like at all.
Yeah, I mean that's sick. Like
Unreal.
I was trying to get down for tryouts, but then school started, conflicted with it.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to who was I talking? I I think it was Boston or not sure exactly who it was, but I was trying to get I was getting in touch with some of them. They were telling me like, oh yeah, just come down to trials. Like it's public. Like you could come down and watch at the stadium. I was like,
Yeah,
oh
it would have been sick. There were a couple people down there, like just like randoms. It was super cool.
yeah. That's right. I was like, I don't want to be like too much of a random like coming out with it.
Oh yeah, no, it was just like literally like there were just like people from Bradenton or Fort Myers just like showing up, just watching. It was super cool. Literally like people that you'd like never seen in your life, just random people. It was super cool.
Yeah, that's sick. I mean, how many people? What were the attendance numbers at these games? Like, how many people were at these games?
Man, we played at prime time every night, so we usually got like a couple teams to stay, like if they had just played. So, man, probably like I mean, the championship game, probably a gold medal game, probably had 7,000, 8,000 people. I mean, the championship game was packed. It was insane. Every country was there. All of like their fans and family were there. And then Chinese Taipei brought like 1,000 people of their own. It was crazy. They almost had like a big as a section as we did. It was crazy. And they all brought like huge drums and they like played what seemed like walk-up songs. And then they like play between the innings and like they all had like choreographed chants and dance. Like it was crazy. But it was so cool. Like that culture was great. Like it was awesome. I loved it.
That's sick.
Like it was
sick.
it was distracting. Like it was literally distracting. Like they were doing it was like playing in front of a huge student section is what it felt like. It was crazy. It was dope though. And it was really good. Like the music was good.
MLB.
But yeah, probably like 800 to 1,000 on like a regular game. And then as you got closer and closer to like super rounds and then medal rounds, they like slowly ticked up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But the weather was also terrible. So, you know, it probably hurt a little bit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
People like we were in rain delays for like at least an hour and a half every day.
Yeah,
every day.
Like now I'm like remembering rain delay games that we've been to.
Yeah.
It's like we you know, Yankee games we go to and it's like complete rain delays. There are a couple that we've been to.
Yeah. Like I said, my sister lives in New York, so like we've been to a couple and it's just like once they pull the tarp out, it seems like it never stops raining. So yeah. it sucks every time.
Oh God.
Yeah. I swear the Yankees they put the tarp out when it's not raining and then
it starts pouring and they're like, we'll take it off.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my God. Remember that Gio Urshela walk off?
The Yankees are terrible at this. But I was gonna say, like, you know, the next time you're gonna be playing for Team USA is gonna be in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, I know. Like that'd be crazy. That's like the next thing to like accomplish with Team USA is playing up for the World Baseball Classic. That'd be insane. Or if they bring it back to the Olympics, I think that'd be dope too.
Yeah, Olympics. Well, Paris isn't bringing it back, I don't think, but
yeah, I just hope they do eventually. Yeah, I think it'd be sick.
It should be in the Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's a big enough, it's a big enough sport around the world these days. Like everybody plays.
Yeah, and that's ties into this. Actually, ties into where I'm going with branding too, because growing the game, like what you're doing, and somehow I don't know how I've tied this back to it, but growing the game comes with like players like you guys who are gonna get drafted, like you and guys like Boston who has now a big following on TikTok and Drew. Yeah. And all these guys who are getting drafted, who are doing things like, Wadis is doing his Determined brand, which is trying to raise money for underprivileged kids, and you're building your following and growing the game to the younger generation. Like, have you seen that start happening? Has it been more younger kids reaching out to you, like advice on baseball, advice on weightlifting, stuff like that? Because that's a lot of the questions we got.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. I mean, like 100 plus DMs a day about that stuff. I mean, people just want to find out like the recipe, like the formula of how I did it. And like the one thing I can say is just, it's not so much about finding out exactly how another person did it. It's about finding your own process and building something that's similar to what somebody else did. I mean, if you want to chase someone and be that person, I mean, you're just setting a limit on yourself right there. Like you're only going to be as good as they are, supposedly, if you follow what they do. You know what I mean? So it's just about, going out, trusting your process and trying to be the best version of yourself so that you can make it to that next level. But like you said, the game is changing. whether people are like it or not. I mean, there are some things about it I don't like it is what it is, but the game's changing. So I think this social media branding, I think it's going to play a huge role in this year's draft. I think it's going to play a huge role in NIL, 100%. I mean, like I said, I mean, you got Arch Manning making 1.5 a year at Texas. You got Mikey Williams like doing all his stuff. I mean, 8.9 million followers, something like that. I mean, and that's just basketball. Like you bring it to baseball, it's like you got Drew with 200K, you got me with 200K. Boston's got like over 200K combined on all platforms. I mean, it's just growing. The game is growing, and people like us with this following have to help do that. And I think that is like a mission of mine. I mean, I want to see more kids playing the game. I want to see more kids reaching out how to learn, how to grow, how to be great, things like that. I mean, I love it. I love it. I don't know how quick it's going to happen, to be honest. I think it's going to take a lot of time, but I do think we're on the up and up because you go to WWBA and you're playing at East Cobb and you just start seeing kids kind of like resembling another player. Like there are kids who wear, people who buy like the pink bat. Like I had the pink bat and that started a huge wave of like little kids and kids our age ordering pink wood bats.
Oh, our questions was like,
yeah, like so stuff like that, you know what I mean? And then you see like kids getting a certain glove that a pro guy has, certain glove that one of us had. And it's just like, where can you find this? Where can I find that? I want to wear that. I want to do this. And it's just like people want to be part of the new era of, self. No, I shouldn't say self-centeredness. That's not correct at all. But, representing yourself while also representing your team. Like you want to be great yourself because if you're great, the team can be great. Like you're only helping the team by getting better. And if you can, be a good person, be a good teammate and still individualize your branding and your, what you do on and off the field, like that's a whole different level of success.
Yeah. I mean, going back to you said like, be the best you don't want to be someone else. I mean, yeah, who wants to be Max Clark? Got to be someone better.
Yeah. No, like you don't want to set your limit, I guess.
Yeah, say your limit. Oh my God. Imagine being as good as this guy. No, but I agree with everything you said, really. I mean, these guys, like, I'll read the question out. I probably sent it to you too. I mean, it was like this guy. Hold on, it's right here. It was this guy who was like, not a question, but tell Max I'm a huge fan. I bought a pink bat and named it Pinky and made him a digital drawing.
That's sick. Like all that stuff's cool.
I'll send you the guy's ad and you could check out his digital drawing. But yeah,
bet.
But yeah, I was like, I saw that and I sent it to not you, Max, but my co-host, and we were just laughing about some of the questions we got. Like, it's like half of them aren't questions. It's just like, oh, like tell Max I say what's up. Like tell Max I'm a huge fan. Like it's like
like all crazy. This. Yeah, I've tried to do a few like Q&As myself, and it just turns into like random, like funny and stuff that shouldn't be said on the internet. Like it's so bad.
Yeah, some of I could imagine. I know what's it called? Boston. I was when you were in a live with Boston, and he added me into it for like, and my connection was terrible, and I couldn't join. Like I requested it, and you guys were talking. It was like arguing about like who has better hair. Like,
oh, dude, me. It's not even close. Like Boston, it's not even close. His hair goes straight up. Like at least mine has some volume. You know what I'm saying? Like I got a little bit of flow. Like I chopped it, so it has volume now. It's not just straight. Like there for a while, like mine went straight down and his went straight up, and it's just like both of our hairs are trash. Like, but now mine's 100% better. My tattoo's better too. So.
Oh, show that off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We were saying when you sent watching the tat, I said I have to have you show it off.
All right, yeah. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's clean.
Yeah, so you got the 3 crosses of Calvary, and then you got olive branches for prosperity, and then you got the crown thorn. When they used it to like mock Jesus when he was on the cross. So it's like a symbol of like guilt and like overcoming that. So it's super dope.
His tattoos, I'm not gonna say who's
his
better.
Tattoo's so bland, dude. He just got Roman numeral. You need something else. He just got a new sleeve though. It's kind of dope. He's got a new sleeve.
I have to see that.
Yeah, the new sleeve's fire. The new sleeve's fire.
All right, so then I'll judge Do a
Mine's 100% better. I have the best tat in the 2023 class. It's not close.
Are you gonna get more?
Actually, yeah, dude. Not yet, but I mean, I love it. I'm addicted to it. So
Not a bad addiction to have.
yeah,
How long
honestly.
does it take? How long does it take to like tap that? You must be
So
sitting in that
this
chair for a
was
while.
this was 4.5 hours.
Yeah, dude, you were
Yeah.
sitting in that chair for a minute. You texted me, you're like, "Yeah, I'm about to sit down and get a tattoo. We could try it tonight." And then I texted you like 4 hours later. You're like, "Yeah, I'm finishing up in the chair right now."
Yeah, dude. Like I was in there because so it was all freehand. All of this was freehand. Yeah. So he drew it up on my arm first, and then went through and he like did it with the tattoo gun. But yeah, about 4.5 hours. Wasn't that bad. Back here hurt a little bit. Right here hurt a lot, and then everything else didn't hurt at all.
That's sick.
Super dope.
That is super dope. So who are you gonna say has the best tat in the class?
Me, it's not even close, bro.
But you were saying besides you, you were saying
Oh, besides me, honestly, I don't know, man. I probably had to go with Boston because his new sleeve is legit. Like I mess with it, and he's got the thigh. Like he is a lot. So it's like I think I got to go Boston second.
I'm texting him right now. Let me see this sleeve.
Wait, if I go and text him, will it exit me out?
I don't know. It might. It might just make you like Max Clark. Like it might just put your name on. It's fine. If you want to text him, I could cut some of it out too. It's not a big deal. Let's see.
I told him to send it to you. Let's see what he says.
He probably gonna be like, "Who's that?" I don't think he has my contact saved. He has my number, but not my contact. I put
Dude, mine's
I'll text.
mine's 100% better, dude.
All right, let me see. I just texted him about it, so if he sees yours and then he'll look for mine, he'll probably understand what you
All
mean.
right, bet.
All right. So once that comes in, we'll stop what we're talking about and we'll judge it. But I think I don't know. I like your tat. So I'm also like I also have you on. I don't have an episode with Boston. So
Facts. Nothing but facts.
So I might have to give a point out, like like an extra like point out of 10. See what happens.
Yeah, I mean that's like at least an 11 out of 10.
I need it. I want to get a test soon, but I'm not 18 yet, so I gotta wait.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
See what I can do. See if I have a way around it for a couple months until I turn 18.
Yeah, you can get it signed off if your parents will let you.
Yeah, no, they probably will. I gotta make a deal. Like once I hit like a certain amount, like $5.
Yeah, just like completely like BS it or something.
Yeah, something like that.
And you should be like, I'll tattoo whatever the most liked comment on this post says.
No.
Yeah.
Nah.
Max, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that.
You know how out of pocket our friends are.
Oh, man, that would be terrible.
And then if it's a post with a clip from you in it and you repost it, yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, it's gonna be something wild.
Yeah, I'm not. I would never do that. I wouldn't think to. I wouldn't think to tattoo anything anyone else says about me or about.
All right.
Yeah. Let's
so kind of transitioning back to more of the serious stuff. No better way to do that. But going back to what you're saying on all the positives about the social media and stuff, you also did say how there is some things you don't like about the game is changing. And one of the things that we've talked about in the podcast a lot is all of like the social media, but there's lots of like trolls and like negative comments out there. So I just want to know how like you deal with that. And obviously I'm sure most people like you a lot, but I'm sure you get occasional hate comments out there. So if you could just, give your take on that and help some people out that might be, dealing with that as well.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I've always said and like thought about is you just can't make everyone happy. I mean, you just got to do whatever makes yourself happy. And the one thing that I've learned is just being transparent with your page. I mean, it's really hard to hate on somebody when they're just doing what they like. It's a lot easier to hate on someone when they're, being a, stuck up teenager. They're being rude to other people. Like if you give people something to hate about, they probably will. So just kind of do whatever makes you happy. I mean, like post about whatever you want. Post about your relationship. Post about baseball, soccer, football, whatever. Everything that makes you happy and makes you you. I mean, you got to make the page about you and what you like to do. Just be fully transparent. But I just kind of learned to ignore it. I mean, I was telling some other people, I mean, it's fun to read, to be completely honest. It's really fun to read some of the hate comments because you can tell what people know what they're talking about and what people don't know what they're talking about. And it's kind of funny, to be completely honest, but I don't really like buy into it, and I definitely don't like acknowledge it. So it's funny. It sucks, but it's the way it is, to be completely honest. It's just how social media is. You can't make everyone happy. So definitely, I think it has more positives than negatives, but you just got to be careful and, watch out for yourself while doing what you like.
Yeah. Have you ever heard any like funny chirps that people said to you, like some stuff that you remember that made you laugh while you were playing?
Oh yeah, I mean, people like when I was a sophomore and I started gaining weight. I mean, everything was about like steroids, and now it's just like a running joke on social media. And it's just like you guys have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, and it's so funny to me that they say that because I've never touched steroids in my life. First of all, and second of all, it's like you guys don't even like know what I'm doing to get to where I am right now. Like you don't understand the work that I put in. So to me, it's comical that they think that I would cheat. And it's just like, I find that hilarious because nothing that is like on my body in terms of like size would even resemble touching one. Like I don't look unnatural. So I find it hilarious just because people are unintelligent about that. So they just automatically jump to conclusions. And it's just like, I'm in the weight room 2.5 hours a day. So,
Damn.
I've looked at some of the comments on one of your posts and it's like, and those thighs, he must be taking steroids.
yeah, exactly. Like, yeah, everybody goes straight to the legs, and it's like, dude,
Yeah.
genetics do exist, and it's just like my parents.
That's the comments that I see. I see when I look at some of your stuff. I see like, yeah. I see. Actually, I see specific VC on the ink. I like.
Oh
like,
yeah,
I like
hell of VC on the ink, bro.
I like that one.
I love 2K, dude. I'm a huge 2K guy.
Kevin McCon broke your exit velo record. He wanted me to tell you, like some of the
Dude, Vinny's so funny. He's so Vinny's one of like McGonagall's hometown buddies, and he FaceTimed me one night, and he was with McGonagall, and I like met him, and now he just like talks crap to me about something that Kevin did all the time. It's so funny.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. Like some of the like Ashley, you want to hear hate? Before you got on, I'm sitting here with Max, and Max goes, "Oh, I like the haircut." I was like, "Yeah," because I had to get a haircut before Christmas. All barbershops are backed up. My mom and dad just like quick trim my hair, and Max made me.
Oh, they brought out the razor and the scissors.
Yeah, he brought out the buzzer and the scissors, and I was like, "All right, you know what? Like not too much though. Like it's like I understand it's Christmas. I have to get a haircut. Like it's fine. Family's coming over. Like
It is what it is. Yeah,
it is what it is." I go to film. Meanwhile, like, all right, I probably hadn't FaceTime. Like, you probably hadn't seen it. But I talk to this kid every day. Like, I said, like, snap up too. Like, I'm surprised he hasn't said something before that. Hop on. It's like, you text me. All right, I'm going to be in 2 minutes. He's like, oh, you sure you want to rock that hair? I was like,
come on, bro. Why are we taking friendly fire shots?
I was just playing.
No, I obviously, I know. But they had me thinking about the hat for, like, a good minute or two.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, Aiden.
Cap off.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Aiden, looks like your mom cut your hair, but your mom actually did cut your hair.
now you're dissing my mom. Hey, what's this about?
No, it's not even bad.
I know you're messing with me, but no, it was funny. I was like, and now you brought that up, like, no, but that was like, at this point, I think people have to realize that like comes with the territory. Like, if you're doing something that people are not just jealous of, but people are like, seeing you put in all that work, they want to knock you. They want to tell you like you're not natty. It's like in my case, like, oh, like you're not getting any views. Like, look at my numbers.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know exactly what you mean, dude.
Yeah.
Like what you said, it comes with the territory. That's so real. Like that's 100% facts. Like so factual.
Yeah. It's like for those of you who don't understand what I'm saying when I say come with the territory, you're Aaron Judge, you hit 62 home runs and you get booed by Yankee fans in the playoffs. Comes with the territory. Now you get what I'm saying. For all of you guys who are going to comment when I clip this and post it and be like, oh, you don't work hard enough or Max is not natty or Max is overrated. Comes with the territory.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's just how it goes, dude.
Yeah.
You learn to live with it.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the thing. It's like I think you see it in this sport so much more because a lot less people who now are trying to get into baseball. People don't respect it as much as other sports. It's not as much of a physical sport, and people are like,
Yeah, no.
and now with the argument, it's like, oh, the older people aren't starting to watch, and the younger people don't grow up into it as much. If you play little league, then that's how you play baseball. But like all
Yeah.
these other kids, like they don't respect it. And it's like, oh, it's not as much of a sport, which is it's complete bullshit. But like that's where it comes from. That's where the hate comes from, and people, and that's why people like us are trying to grow this game and get people to realize what work comes into it. It's just ridiculous. It's crazy. Did Boston text that? No. All right, whatever. So let's get into fan questions. We got some rapid fire. This is a segment that people like on these kind of episodes because this is where everyone's questions will start to get featured.
Oh yeah. Hey, hang on. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna grab a water.
Do rankings matter? Also, how do I attract college scouts from Sam's Edits 27?
I think rankings only matter if they matter to you. I think it's a good baseline for kids. I mean, like, yeah, it's nice to see yourself ranked high, but I think it's all just a feeling, like a good feeling for yourself versus does it actually matter? If it matters to you, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Like, it doesn't really. Scouts do not care what your rank is. Pro scouts do not care what your rank is. Clubs do not care what your rank is. If you're good, you're good. And that sounds weird coming from a dude who's ranked number 1 in the country. Like, I get it that it sounds weird, but like, it really doesn't matter. Like, every single pro team that's been in my house has been like, yeah, we don't really pay attention to those. And like all the mock drafts, I mean, they don't pay attention to that either. So, no and yes. But then on the question about how to getting colleges to notice you, I mean, for me, I would just went and played in like the big tournaments with my travel team, playing in good competition events, playing in events where there are a lot of other really good players. It's just going to attract more and more scouts. Another good way is camps. Like if you get invited to a camp specifically from a coach and it's not just like one of the spam emails, if you get specifically invited to a camp, I would go because that's how I got my offer. Vanderbilt invited me to a camp and it was like, their coach talked to me like, hey, I want you to come to this, see what you got. I was like, okay. 2 weeks later, I got an offer. 3 weeks later, I was committed. So camps are huge. Good events are huge. I don't think PG, like the PG regional events and the PBR regional events are that important. But like the national ones are. I mean, there's always scouts in attendance for this. So if you get invited, I don't think it's a bad idea, especially for the national ones.
Mm-hmm. So then the next one, I already showed you this. How often do you practice baseball or work out every week?
Oh, I hit for 2 to 2.5 hours every day, and then I lift for 2 to 2.5 hours every day.
All right. So I have the questions written down, so I don't know who asked it, but do you think 162 games a year is too much for major league players?
That's a good question. I don't think it's too much for the players. I just think I just think it's a long season, but I don't know. I don't know what it should be if you're going to change it. Like, I think it's a lot of games, and I think it's sometimes hard to keep fans engaged for that long of a season. But players love it. Like, I would love playing 162 games a season. So to me, I love it. I don't think it needs to be changed, but from a fan standpoint, I mean, I guess I get their argument. Like, yeah, it does make the regular season seem really, really long, and like I get it, but I don't know. That'd be sick to me. I'd love to play 162 games a year for my job. So,
yeah. So that was MJ Worth 5. Shout out to you, I guess. That was a really good question.
That was a good question. It's just tough. It's a tough answer.
Yeah, for it comes from both ways. I mean, I guess as a player standpoint, I like where you're saying, like, yeah, to get paid to play baseball 162 games, why wouldn't someone want to do that if that's your life?
Exactly. Yeah.
If you live, breathe, and sleep, like if you eat, breathe, and sleep baseball, why wouldn't you want to do that? But like, yeah, it's time consuming for a fan to, especially for kids like us, like who, for the most part, our attention span are like 3 minutes. Like, people can look up for 3 minutes before going back on TikTok for 4 hours. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard for kids to stay entertained, and that's why, like, everyone's panicking because fans, the viewership and everything is kind of declining. But I think you can't change it. What are you going to change it to? Like, it makes no sense.
Yeah, like I don't know what the good argument would be. Like if some people like offered 82 games, it's just like that seems really short.
Yeah, fit because that's
Like I played 82 games this season. I played more than that, but like I played at least 82 games.
yeah. That makes sense. Like that, like a high level like college, high school player would go and play summer ball too. Would play that much. Like
Yeah,
you can't shorten the season that much, especially if the whole point of baseball and like its argument for being, the physically taxing, like is playing each day, and shortening the season would completely diminish that value.
yeah.
So, I mean, it's all right, but like, I guess. Let's see. From Dylan Brew 4, how much do you squat?
555 pounds.
Excuse me?
You didn't know that?
No, I actually I think I did. You told me.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I was like
Or you
I thought,
told,
I
yeah,
thought you talked about that. Yeah, I thought you talked. Yeah, 555.
yeah, you told me. But that's a lot. And then Luke, I don't know how to say this kid's name, but he asks questions. He likes all my stuff, so I want to ask his question. What's the leg day routine that follows that?
So like for me, like yeah, okay. So yesterday I hit legs and I did. So I'm in a hypertrophy phase, which is like a lot of reps at high intent. So excuse me. I did 3 sets of back squat and I did 8 reps, and then a maximal intent rep. So as many as you can until failure. So that was one segment of the lift, and then I had another superset, which was 3x6 split squats each side, and then I followed that up with 3x10 calf raises, and then after that I did quad extensions 3x8 and hamstring curls 3x8, and then I did dumbbell step ups 4x5, landmine side squats 4x6, yeah, 4x6 or 8. I think it was 6. Doesn't matter. And then what did I do to finish off? 10-yard. So 3 10-yard acceleration sprints, and then I do one sprint, and then I do 4x3 depth jump broad jumps, and I did that 3x3. So one 10-yard sprint, and then one set of depth drops, one 10-yard sprint, one set of depth drops, and then So that was awful. Yesterday was awful. I woke up today and I was like, wow, I can't move.
That makes me tired just hearing that. Oh my god, that's crazy. All right, so again, like I said, I don't have the ads, but just sort of 2 questions in one. What team would you hope to get drafted into, and that kind of ties into like your favorite team?
I have no bias to either of those questions. I just love baseball. I never grew up like watching a certain team. I just watched it, and I don't really care where I go as long as they believe in me and give me a chance. And then like I doesn't buy that. Neither of those really, I don't have a bias. So wherever is cool, and I will just like watching baseball. So
go Rob Manfred, something like that. That's basically where we're at right now. Nah.
You should play for the Yankees then. Is there like a city that you would want to play in?
New York.
Like New York City?
Honestly, no, like I don't really like. I don't care on it. Like I'm so serious. I'm not even like trying to like block your question. Like I just don't. It doesn't bother. It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I'll send a lengthy DM to Steinbrenner.
Yeah, just let them know.
To Aaron Boone. I'll send a very lengthy DM to Aaron Boone.
Just write him a handwritten note.
I'll be at a lot of Yankee games next year. I'll find a way to get that to him. All right, wait. Well, now this is my question. So, wait. All right, I have to read where I got the inspiration to ask it from. Oh, here it is. All right. So this was so the question here is, since you are such an inspiration, who is your inspiration? So you can answer that after, but the question that I wanted to build off of that was like, what do you like? What kind of like an inspiration to like kids do you want to be in like 5 to 10 years? Like, where do you see yourself in that time period? Like maybe not even just in baseball. Like what like projects do you see yourself doing outside of baseball? Like
I mean, so for me, I've always wanted to do something like bigger than myself. So I want to bring a lot back home to Franklin. I mean, there's like we're a small town out of Franklin, Indiana. You know what I mean? So it'd be really really cool to bring back something special here just for the town. The support group here is crazy. Especially like you run into that with small towns sometimes. It's like either the town loves you or the town hates you. And like my town loves me. So I've been really fortunate to have a great support group across the entire town. The school's fantastic. Everybody at the school's great. So all of that would be, something that I would want to give back to. Do I know what I'm going to do yet? Not really. I have a couple of layouts, and I have great people to support me and help me figure out those layouts in my team. So I know that I want to do something huge, and I just don't know really what I want to do yet. But I know that it's going to be really, really good as long as everything pans out.
yeah. I mean that's a good where to like at least a good place to start, Obviously like there's time to figure that out. There's a lot
yeah.
to figure it out.
Of course, yeah.
Now, here's two questions tied in one. Again, my questions. I don't not saying I don't care about the fan questions. Like I know this is supposed to be for fan questions. I'm counting myself as a fan for now. This is how it's gonna be. I make my own questions on this show.
There you go.
So you always have someone like filming like workout. Like, have you thought of like making like a document like something like that? Have you started something like that? Like,
it's funny you say that. Yeah, there's a huge documentary coming this entire season. So it's gonna be it's gonna be like every game. It's gonna have all my like off season stuff. I mean, dude, it's gonna be huge. Like it's crazy. That's all I can give you because I'm working with like some higher ups. So that's all I can give you. But yeah, it's gonna be nuts.
So like I'll let you know when I'm like coming down, but like I'm gonna be coming down and like making like a YouTube video and like I'm gonna get in that documentary somehow.
All right, bet.
Well, I do have a question, and it's along the lines of the automatic strike zone with robot umpires. So, can you give your takes on that? Do you like that? You're not a big fan of it.
I hate it. I'd rather deal with a terrible umpire than any of that automated. That isn't baseball. Like they would completely erase the effect of catchers in the game.
Yeah.
Like the whole art of catching is being able to steal strikes. If it's automated, you can't. Like there has to be a little bit of human error in the game. It makes it more interesting, more fun. Like I said, I hate umpires and they're most of the time terrible, but I'd still rather deal with a terrible umpire than something that's always correct. Like that, It just doesn't seem like real baseball.
Yeah.
That's why I always play all my MLB The Show games on average umpire just to spice it up a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with you. I think it's terrible, but mean, you can't do anything about it at this point. It's like
it's probably gonna happen. So
yeah. So all right. So one more thing. So this is because we had Leo on a couple weeks ago from.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, you know exactly who Leo is. When are you hopping on Dan's podcast? What's going on?
Oh, dude. Okay, so huge project coming. They're coming out January 28th. Huge project.
Okay, so Ash. Oh yeah, he did tell me about this. I forgot because Leo said because I said something to Leo off camera. I was like, yeah, like I just got back in touch with Max. Like we're gonna have him on. He goes, when you have him on, tell him he has to come on for us. And I think you probably planned that after he said that.
So. Yeah. No, we just decided today. So they're coming out the 28th and 29th, and then Youth Prospects is going to be out here too. It's going to be sick, dude. It's just going to be hella content all week.
That makes sense. That's right before their New York trip.
Yeah. So they're going
Miami, and then they're
Miami, and then yep.
And then they're coming here to New York because I know because I'm linking up with them in New York. Max, I'll tell you some stuff that we have planned for that. That's going to be sick. Yeah. All right. I'm not going to take up any more of your time. We've been on this thing for like an hour and 10 minutes.
Oh, no, you're good, dude. I get it. I love it. It's cool. You're good.
Yeah. I mean, we'll do another part. I'll be out there sometime during the season. I'm going to be able to start traveling soon. And then once I finish all like my schoolwork, I'm working on finishing everything up like hopefully early so I can just not have to worry about it and then travel. So I'll get down to you for like this, like right before the season, probably for baseball.
Bet.
Do
Bet,
some
bet, bet.
do some more content stuff. See what I can do.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, dude.
All right. So, any last words? Anything you want to say to anyone watching?
Well, I appreciate all you guys for the support, and I appreciate you guys having me on. So thank you, and thank you all my guys, and then I'm sure we'll see you guys out there soon. So
Yeah, definitely. Where would I start? I would say first of all, I'd say thank you for coming back on because like I mean I didn't think like after I think I don't know what happened. I think you got a new phone and we lost touch for a
oh
while.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. We lost touch for like a couple months and then I was like, all right, like I didn't think it was gonna happen, but we made it happen, guys. There's like you and Drew were the most requested guests, and I mean you guys get
Two
what you
for
guys
two.
want. Yeah, you guys get what you guys want. Back to back, we got both of you, and thank you guys for watching. Is all really I could say. Like, appreciate the
Yeah,
support.
I want to add something just because I never really do any closing remarks, but I just want to thank you, Max, and how like I love having guests on like you that are so easy to talk with, and you guys keep talking because it makes our job so much easier. And
Yeah, absolutely.
just like you know,
Yeah, no,
I'm really excited.
It makes it a lot easier, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean it's so nice to do it with. It's also easy when it's like you're in our age group, like you're like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
you're not even a year older than us, so it makes sense. Like conversation just flows easy. But some of the people we've had on, like our luck has been really well, like really good. To the fact that all of our guys have been really good speakers and like they're trained well. Like to speak well and like for whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so that's great for us. But like this was one of the best things that like we filmed. I think it was one of the more fun to film. Like
Oh yeah,
even
no
the
doubt.
random conversations, like tattoo conversations, like
Yeah, dude, just like all the random stuff is awesome.
yeah, and I mean I try not to stray off from like the some not serious I'd say, but like the baseball and like the content, but like it was nice to do this. Thank you for coming out. We'll have more content with Max for sure. I mean it was awesome to do this. But thank you so much, and thank you everyone for your support. And we're gonna keep getting some good episodes out.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.